The silent cry in the woods. It was a cold and rainy night. The wind howled through the trees like a warning. Jack lived alone in a small wooden cabin, far from the city. He liked silence. He liked peace. But tonight, something was not right. As Jack sat near the fireplace, reading an old book, he heard a strange sound. It was faint, like a cry, soft and broken. He paused. At first he thought it was the wind. But then it came again. A small whimper. It sounded ... Scared. Stood up slowly and grabbed his coat. He took a flashlight and stepped out into the wet darkness. The rain had slowed, but the ground was still muddy. The trees looked like dark giants around him. The sound led him deeper. Into the forest, he moved carefully, following the weak cries. And then, he saw it. Lying near a bush was a small, strange-looking animal. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. It looked like a mix between a cat and a fox, but its fur had a soft glow, almost like light was coming from inside it. It was breathing, but just barely. Jack knelt down. The creature's body was cold and wet. One of its legs was twisted, maybe broken. There was a small wound on its side. Its big eyes opened and looked at him, not with fear, but with trust. Without thinking, Jack carefully picked it up and carried it back to the cabin. Inside, he placed it on a soft towel near the fireplace. He cleaned the wound and tried to make it comfortable. The creature didn't fight. It just stared at him, blinking slowly. Jack gave it water, but it didn't drink. "I don't know what you are," Jack whispered, "but I'll try to help you." As the night grew darker, the power suddenly went out. The cabin became quiet, too quiet. Only the sound of rain remained. Jack lit a candle and sat near the creature. He watched as it began to glow again, a soft blue light pulsing from its body. Then something strange happened. For a moment, just 1 second, the creature's form changed. Jack blinked. Instead of the animal, he saw a girl. A young girl, maybe 16 or 17, lying in the same place. Her skin was pale, her hair long and silver, her eyes closed. She looked like she was barely alive. Then, just as fast, she turned back into the glowing animal. Jack stood, frozen. What the hell? He stepped back. His heart was beating fast. He looked around, but no one was there. Only the creature, lying weakly, glowing in the firelight. Jack sat down again. "Maybe I imagined it," he said to himself. "Maybe I'm tired." But deep inside, he knew what he saw was real. The creature made a small sound, almost like a whisper. It reached one paw toward him, and he saw something strange in its eyes. Not fear, not pain, but sadness. It was trying to tell him something. Jack leaned closer. "Are you trying to talk?" The creature blinked once. Then, the glow in its body started to move, gathering in one spot. A small ball of light floated into the air. It shimmered, then turned into a tiny broken image, like a hologram. In that image, Jack saw the girl again. She was speaking. The words were broken, but clear enough. "Help me. I'm not from here." The image vanished. The glow faded. Jack sat back, eyes wide. "You're not from Earth?" The creature said nothing. It just closed its eyes and lay still. Jack didn't know what to do. He had never believed in aliens. He had never seen anything like this before. But now, in his own cabin, something impossible was lying right in front of him. He looked at the small creature again. It was breathing slowly, weakly. Whoever, or whatever, she was. She needed help. Jack took a deep breath. "All right," he said softly. "I don't know what you are, or where you came from, but I'm not letting you die." Outside, the wind grew stronger. In the forest, far away, a light flashed in the sky, silent and red. Like a warning. Jack didn't see it. He was too busy watching over the mysterious creature that had entered his quiet life and had just begun to change it forever. For the first time in years, Jack had trouble sleeping. He kept hearing whispers. They weren't loud. They were soft, gentle, like someone calling his name from underwater. Jack. He opened his eyes suddenly. It was still night. The candle had burned out, and the room was almost dark. The only light came from the strange creature lying near the fireplace. Its soft blue glow pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. Jack sat up, breathing heavy. A dream, he whispered. Just a dream. But deep down, he knew it wasn't. Something was happening. He got up and checked the creature again. Its leg was still hurt, but it looked a little better. The wound had started to close, faster than it should have. He reached out and gently touched the soft fur. It was warm now. Not cold like before. The creature didn't open its eyes, but it let out a low, humming sound, peaceful, almost like a purr. Then, Jack noticed something. His phone, which had been charging on the table, was blinking strangely. He picked it up. The screen was filled with random symbols, circles, lines, triangles, and then a word appeared. Listen. Jack stared at the screen. It flickered, then died. Before he could move, the blue light from the creature grew brighter. A new shape formed above it, a glowing ball like before. This time, it was bigger. The light turned into another hologram. Clearer than the last one. Jack saw her again, the girl from before. Silver hair, pale skin, deep, tired eyes. She looked directly at him. Not animal, she said, her voice broken and strange. Hiding, they chase me. Jack leaned closer, not blinking. Princess, lost, no breath. She said, you saved me. The hologram glitched and vanished. Jack stood up slowly. His hands were shaking. This isn't possible, he said to himself. What is going on? Suddenly, the creature stirred. It opened its eyes, fully awake this time, and it looked at him. Differently. There was intelligence in its gaze, awareness. Then, something even stranger happened. The creature tried to speak. Its mouth opened slightly, and a sound came out. Not a growl, not a cry, but a word. Jack, his blood ran cold. You just said my name. The creature struggled to move. It pointed its nose toward the door. Jack watched in silence. Then, it made another sound. A warning, danger. Outside, the night was no longer quiet. The forest trembled. Something, or someone, was moving through the trees. Fast, quiet, and close. Jack turned off all lights and looked out the window. At first, he saw nothing. Then he saw lights. Strange lights. Flashing red and white. Shadows moved between the trees. Tall figures, wearing strange armor, their faces hidden behind masks. They were scanning the ground. One of them knelt down and touched something. She was here, it said. The voice was not human, cold, robotic. Another figure raised a small device. A red beam shot out, scanning the area. Traces weak, it said. But she cannot be far. Jack's heart was racing. The creature inside his cabin was being hunted. He backed away from the window and turned to her. You're not from here, he whispered. You're not even human. The creature looked at him. Then slowly, painfully, it stood up on all fours. And for the first time, Jack noticed something glowing just under its fur. A small crystal-like object embedded in its chest. It pulsed softly, like it was alive. Then the creature spoke. Again, clearer now. They want to kill me. Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing, but he had no time to doubt. He grabbed his bag and wrapped the creature in a blanket. We need to go, he said. Now, outside, the figures had stopped moving. One of them turned toward the cabin. Its mask lit up red. Inside the cabin, a strange humming sound filled the air. The creature's crystal glowed bright. The front door creaked. Jack picked up an old axe and stood in front of her. If they want you, he said softly, they'll have to go through me. The doorknob started to turn. A cold wind rushed in, and then, bang! The door flew open. The door didn't break, it dissolved, right in front of Jack's eyes. The old wooden door turned to dust, quietly like ash floating into the wind. No fire, no sound, just gone. Jack didn't move. He gripped the axe tighter, sweat cold on his skin. Outside, the rain had stopped, but the night wasn't quiet anymore. He could hear them, footsteps that didn't sound human. Too smooth, too heavy. And then they entered, 3 tall figures dressed in dark armor. Their helmets had no eyes, only a smooth black surface. Red lights pulsed along their arms. They moved like shadows with a purpose. One of them spoke. Its voice echoed like metal scraping metal. She is here. Jack stepped in front of the couch where the glowing creature lay, wrapped in the blanket. I don't know who you are, Jack said, trying to sound brave. But she's not going anywhere. The tallest figure raised its arm. A beam of red light scanned Jack from head to toe. Human, not a threat. The other one responded. He is the helper. Suddenly, the creature behind Jack let out a strange cry, half warning, half pain. The light in its chest grew stronger. The armored figure stepped back. She is waking, said one of them. Form unstable. Jack turned and saw her, not as the animal now, but halfway between forms. Her body shimmered, changing. Her face, part human, part not. Eyes glowing silver. Hands turning real. A strange dress of light forming on her skin. She looked at Jack. They will destroy Earth. If I live. Then she collapsed again, breathing hard. One of the hunters pulled out a silver rod, aimed it at her. Jack didn't think. He threw the axe. It hit the rod and knocked it away. The room exploded in light. The shockwave threw Jack back against the wall. By the time he opened his eyes, the hunters were gone, vanished without a sound. But in the center of the room, glowing in the air, was something new. A floating symbol, 3 circles around a star, and a message. Not in words, in his mind. They will return. She must leave, or you will die too. Then the symbol faded. Jack got up slowly, rubbing his head. His ears rang. He looked around. The room was a mess, broken glass, knocked over furniture, glowing dust still floating in the air. But she was still there. The alien girl, half princess, half creature, was breathing, weak but alive. Jack sat beside her. What are you? He asked softly. This time, her voice came from her mouth, quiet but clear. I was a leader, but I wanted peace. My people wanted war. They called me traitor. Her eyes opened, glowing with light. They sent hunters to erase me, my body broken. I hid in animal form. Jack felt like the air was gone from his lungs. You're a princess? She nodded weakly. From the stars. From a place you call nothing, but it is everything. She looked at him with sadness. You helped me. Why? Jack didn't have an answer. He didn't know why. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was hope. I guess, he said. You looked like you needed saving. She smiled. Just a little. Then her body shivered again. The light dimmed. Her form flickered, the glow fading. She was growing weaker. What's happening? Jack asked. She looked at him with pain in her eyes. My heartstone. It is broken. Without it, I die. Where is it? Hiding. Forest. Cave. Guarded. Her voice faded. She slipped back into sleep. Jack stood slowly. He looked at the forest outside. Dark. Cold. And now alien. But he had made a choice. He would not let her die. Not in his cabin. On his planet. Not while he could still do something. Jack grabbed his coat, flashlight, and a pocket knife. He opened the door, or what was left of it, and stepped into the night. Behind him, the stars above flickered, almost like they were watching. Asterisk. The moon had vanished. Clouds covered the sky like a blanket of smoke. The forest was darker than ever. No stars, no sound. Just cold air and trees that seemed to breathe. Jack ran. Branches slapped against his face. Mud pulled at his boots. But he didn't stop. He held a glowing tracker in one hand, a small piece of alien tech the princess gave him before passing out again. It pulsed gently, guiding him through the forest. Behind him, his cabin still burned with blue light, not from fire, but from something unnatural. The hunters had returned just minutes after he left. He had no choice. He had to find the Heartstone. Only thing that could save her, and maybe him, hours earlier. Jack had found a metal box buried under the floorboards. The princess, still weak, had used the last of her strength to unlock it. Inside was a holographic map, a forest cave. Coordinates, a warning. Guarded, not just hidden. Protected by something ancient. Now, the tracker blinked faster. Jack slowed. Down. He saw a hill covered in thick roots. The cave entrance was almost invisible behind the leaves and vines. He stepped closer. The wind stopped. The forest became silent. Not peaceful silent. Dangerous silent. Jack turned on his flashlight and stepped inside. The air inside the cave was cold. Not natural cold, a deep, metallic chill, like a freezer full of secrets. He followed the map's light deeper and deeper until the cave opened into a wide, circular chamber. In the center, sitting on a stone pedestal, was the Heartstone. It wasn't big, about the size of a baseball, glowing with a soft white and violet light, but before he could move toward it, he heard it breathing low, deep, heavy. Jack turned slowly. From the shadows came a shape. It was not a machine, not a person. It looked like a giant four-legged beast, made of dark metal and bones, with glowing blue eyes and steam rising from its back. Not alive. Not dead. The Guardian. It did not attack. It waited. Jack understood. This wasn't a fight. It was a test. He stepped forward, heart pounding, slowly, carefully, no sudden moves. The Guardian growled, a deep vibrating sound that shook the cave. Walls. I'm not here to steal, Jack said aloud. I need this to save her, the princess. The Heartstone glowed brighter at his words. The Guardian tilted its head. Jack took one more step. The creature growled louder, then stopped. For a moment, the cave was still. Then, the beast stepped aside. Just like that. No battle. No blood. Jack walked to the pedestal and reached for the stone. As soon as his fingers touched it, a wave of heat shot through his body, like lightning, but soft. Not pain, memory. He saw flashes of the princess as a child, running through golden halls, of her people, of war, of betrayal, of escape. He gasped and pulled away. The Heartstone floated into the air and dropped gently into his hands. It accepted him. The Guardian nodded once and disappeared, just faded into smoke. Jack stood alone with the stone, breathing fast, heart racing. Then, the cave shook. From above, explosions. The hunters had tracked him. No. More silence. It was time to run. Jack burst out of the cave just as part of the hill behind him collapsed. Flashes of red light shot through the trees, drones, scanning, hunting. He ran, dodging between trees, holding the stone tight. A beam hit a tree near him. The bark exploded. Another flash. A drone crashed into the ground behind him, hissing with steam. He kept running. Then, in the distance, a light, soft and blue. His cabin. What was left of it. He rushed inside. The walls were scorched. Smoke in the air. She was still there, barely breathing. Jack fell beside her. I got it, he whispered. I found it. He placed the stone against her chest. For a moment, nothing. Then, a heartbeat. Not his. Hers. The light from the stone flowed into her body. Her skin began to glow. The wounds healed. The flickering in her form stopped. Her hair floated in the Vendée air like it remembered its true shape. Her eyes opened, bright silver. Jack. She sat up. Outside, the hunters arrived. Too late. The light around the cabin turned blinding white. The hunters stepped back. One spoke. It's too late. She is whole again. Then they vanished, just like the Guardian, just like smoke. Jack looked at her, breathing hard. You're really back. She touched his hand. You saved me. Again. Then she looked up. The escape is over. Now the fight begins. The stars were falling. At least. That's how it looked. Jack stood outside what was left of his cabin, staring up at the night sky. One by one, tiny lights moved across the darkness. Not shooting stars, but ships. Dozens of them. Silent. Fast. Watching. The escape was over. Now. They had come for Earth. Inside the broken cabin, the girl, no longer in animal form, was standing for the first time. Her silver hair flowed behind her like soft light. Her skin glowed faintly, and the heartstone at her chest pulsed like a second heartbeat. She was weak, but whole. Jack watched her quietly. You're different now, he said. She looked at him and nodded. I am awake, fully. Does that mean you can fight them? Her smile faded. No, not yet. They will not wait. They think you are protecting me, aren't I? She stepped closer. Now they will punish your world for it. Jack didn't answer. He looked back up at the sky. More lights. A slow hum in the air. Even the wind felt heavier now. She placed a hand on his shoulder. You have done more than enough, Jack. You saved me when I had no name, no body, nothing. Jack turned to her. I'm not leaving you. A soft sound came from outside, a low vibration, like something massive had entered the airspace. They both stepped to the edge of the cabin. A shape hovered above the trees. It wasn't a ship. It was a station. Black as night, shaped like a ring spinning slowly. Symbols glowed along its edge. And then, a voice. Not from the sky. Not from a speaker. It was in their minds. You have broken the law of silence. You have helped the last child of war. For that, your world must be reset. One cycle, one cleansing, no mercy. Jack staggered. The voice was cold. Not angry, just empty. Like it didn't care if Earth lived or died. The princess closed her eyes. It's begun. Across Earth, strange things started happening. People lost phone signals. Skies flickered, as if switching between realities. Animals stopped making sounds. Oceans grew still. The moon pulsed red for 3 seconds, then returned to normal. But nothing was normal now. Jack saw it all from the hill behind his cabin. They're testing Earth, the princess said. Preparing to erase it slowly, quietly, so no one resists. Jack looked at her. Then we fight now, together. She shook her head. We cannot fight what's already begun. We must get help. From who? She raised her hand, and the air shimmered in front of them, like heat rising from a road. Then an image appeared, a map of stars. One planet, marked in gold. My mother's allies, she said. Exiles, hidden. They do not know I'm alive. If we reach them, we might stop this. Jack looked at the map. It's not even in this galaxy, he said. No, she replied. But we don't have to travel through space. She knelt to the ground and placed her hand on the soil. A ring of symbols appeared beneath her, pulsing, ancient. A gate? She nodded. A jump gate, one use. It was buried here long ago, waiting. But if we leave, Jack said slowly, who warns Earth? She looked into his eyes. You do. A noise interrupted them, fast and sharp. A hunter ship. It crashed through the trees like a blade of light. Drones poured out, red eyes glowing. Moving fast. Jack pulled out a metal rod, alien tech he had taken from the cave. The princess stood tall beside him. We don't run yet, she said. Jack grinned. Good. I hate running. The drones attacked. They fought together. Jack used the rod like a sword, blocking beams, knocking down drones. The princess raised her hands, and waves of pure light threw enemies backward. They moved like they had trained together for years, but it had only been days. When the last drone fell, Jack dropped to one knee, breathing hard. The forest was burning. Smoke in the air, but the gate beneath them was ready. The princess helped him stand. He looked at the glow beneath his feet. "You sure this will work?" "No," she said. "But it's our only chance." She reached out her hand. Jack took it. They stepped into the light together. The gate closed behind them. A second later, the forest they left behind turned dark and quiet. Too quiet. Above, the sky pulsed again. The reset had begun. Jack opened his eyes, and everything was upside down. Literally. He was hanging in the air, slowly spinning. No ground, no sky, just colors. Gold clouds, floating islands, a blue sun, a planet that made no sense. Then, gravity returned. Hard. He dropped onto something soft and alive, not grass, not stone. It felt like breathing moss. He groaned, sat up and looked around. "Where are we?" The princess stood nearby, calm, her silver hair moving as if underwater. "This is Erython," she said. "The world between stars. My mother's last safe place." Jack rubbed his head. "Feels like a dream someone drew by accident." She smiled faintly. "No accidents, only forgotten doors." Suddenly, a loud screech. A creature soared overhead, 6 wings, made of crystal. Jack ducked. The princess didn't flinch. "Don't move. They see heartbeats, not bodies." Jack froze. The creature passed, vanishing into light. He exhaled. "Okay, that's normal." She looked at him. "We must find the exiles." They walked through a field of glowing plants, each one whispering old words as they passed. The path changed beneath their feet, leading them without direction. Then, voices. From nowhere and everywhere. "Why have you come? This gate was sealed. You bring danger with you." Suddenly, tall figures stepped from the air itself, like ghosts turning solid. They wore armor made of bone and starlight. Their faces were hidden behind mirrored masks. Each carried a curved staff that hummed quietly. The leader stepped forward. "State your name," he said in a voice that felt like thunder and water. The princess stepped forward, her voice firm. "I am Alira of Solvan, daughter of Queen Vela, first of the bloodline. Exiled without trial." Silence. Then, gasps. One figure dropped to a knee. Another lowered their staff. "You were lost," said the leader. "We mourned you. We buried your name." Jack stepped forward too. "And I'm Jack," he said. "Just Jack." The masked warriors stared. No one moved, until Alira said, "He saved me, twice. He's the reason I still breathe." A pause, then the leader bowed. "Then Earth has done what stars could not." Inside a crystal hall, floating above endless space, Jack sat at a long table. He tried not to stare at the food. It moved slightly, like it was still alive. Across from him, the Council of Exiles sat quietly. They listened as Alira spoke, telling them about the hunters, the Heartstone, the reset signal over Earth. When she finished, the room stayed silent for a long time. Finally, the leader spoke. "They have activated the eraser. Earth will vanish. Slowly over 7 days." Jack stood up. "Then we stop it." "You do not understand," said the elder. "The eraser cannot be destroyed, only redirected." "To where?" Jack asked. "To here," the elder said. The room went cold. Jack looked at Alira. "If we stop it from hitting Earth, it will hit you?" She didn't answer. Jack clenched his fists. "So what now? Let them erase my planet." "No," said the elder. "There is one way." He turned to Jack. "You must take the stone blade." A long box floated toward Jack. Inside, a sort of light and metal, alive with energy. Jack stepped back. I'm no warrior. You don't need to be, Alira said. You already chose to fight. That makes you more than a soldier. The Elder continued. You will enter the Hunter's core ship, disable the signal, and return, alone. Jack stared at them all. Sounds like suicide. No, said Alira. It sounds like saving me. Again. Hours later, Jack stood on a small platform above the clouds. The sword in his hand felt strange. Not heavy, not light. Just right. Alira stepped beside him. I should go instead. Jack looked at her. If you die, no one will follow. But if I die, well, I'm just Jack. She didn't smile. Instead, she reached out and placed her hand on his chest, over his heart. You are not just anything. Then she stepped back. The platform lit up. Wind, light, silence, then gone. Jack was falling. Toward the Hunter's world, toward the core, toward the end. It began with silence. No music. No voices, no sound. Just Jack, floating in black space. Between two burning moons, the Hunter's core ship stood in front of him, massive, alive like a machine dreaming of war. Spikes of metal turned slowly. Around its center, red veins pulsed through it like blood. He hovered closer, wrapped in a soft bubble of light from Alira's gate crystal. In his hand, the stone blade, now glowing brighter than ever, responding to his fear. This was it. The final step. The place where either Earth would be saved or forgotten. Inside the ship, the silence broke. Screams. Metal walls screamed as he passed through them, alive, angry, aware. The ship knew he was here. Jack didn't run. He moved fast and quiet, just like Alira taught him, through the red-lit halls. Past the sleeping guards in pods, past the machine that whispered in dead languages. Until he reached the core. A giant floating crystal, spinning slowly. Wires plugged into it from every side. The reset signal. At the base of the crystal stood a tall figure in dark armor. UNMOVING. Jack raised the sword. Move, he said. The figure turned. Its mask dissolved into dust, and behind it, a face like Alira's, but older, colder, broken. The figure tilted his head. You carry her light, he said. So she still lives. Jack froze. You're her brother? He nodded once. I am Ellerin, firstborn of Vela, heir to the throne, and shame of the bloodline. Jack raised the sword again. She said you betrayed her. She was weak, Ellerin said. She believed in peace. I believed in strength. You tried to kill her. I tried to end a lie. Ellerin stepped forward. Jack didn't wait. He charged. The fight was fast, brutal. The sword clashed against energy blades. Sparks flew. Ellerin was stronger, trained, focused. Jack was angry, desperate, human. But the sword responded to Jack's will, glowing brighter with each strike. In the final blow, Jack didn't swing with hate. He spoke. She believed in something better. And I believe in her. He struck the core. The crystal cracked. The signal died. The lights flickered out. The war ended. Ellerin fell. Not dead, but defeated. Jack dropped the sword. Outside the ship, the stars shifted. The ring station above Earth vanished. The countdown stopped. Oceans moved again. Wind returned. The moon turned white once more. Earth was safe. Jack woke up days later in a field of silver grass. He was alive, and she was there. Alira stood over him, her hand on his chest, her eyes wet with light. You came back, he said, his voice weak. She smiled. You promised not to die, she whispered. I lied. I know. They laughed. Then she stood and looked around. Her people were gathering. The exiles had returned home with her. A great hall was rebuilt in the clouds. A throne of memory stood in the center. But she didn't sit on it. Alira stood before the crowd and spoke. I do not return as queen. I return as hope, not to rule, but to guide. Her voice echoed through the stars, and they listened. Later, she sat beside Jack on a small balcony. He stared at the stars. They're different here. They're yours now too, she said. I'm just a guy from Earth, he said. No, she replied. You are the one who saved a galaxy. By caring for one small creature, he looked at her. What happens now? She took his hand. We write a new story.